What's up, guys? My first one of these. I've never really made a jungle guide before, but I just finished playing this game in Diamond 3 ELO. Uh, I felt like I was able to affect the outcome of the game, and so
If you
for
hit
that
a
reason, I
wall,
just wanted
hit
to
it
make
hard.
Welcome
a
to
quick
Summoner's
video
Rift.
explaining some of my decision making and my thought processes during the game. I am recording this after the
30
fact.
seconds until minions
So you can
spawn.
see I'm playing Vi versus Wukong here in the jungle. It looks like they were looking for an
You'll never
invade,
know
and
what hit 'em.
I didn't really want to fight this because I'm telling my team, like, hey, you may have a decent level 1, but I'm playing level 1 Vi. I don't feel like there's too much that I can do level 1, and so given that I saw them on their bot side, I did want
I like
information
my
regarding
hands
where he
in a
was going to
cupcake.
start, or at least get some, process of elimination.
Minions have
So
spawned.
because I saw them, I just walk in and ward his red buff here, which ends up being pretty useful later on.
Gonna
Um,
wreck it.
so I may just like click through on occasion, but I'm gonna try to show at least most of the game. I felt like for the most part, I had a pretty clean game. I just did make one criminal mistake early game. Um, and so I'll go over that a little bit, just explain what was wrong, and really the purpose of this guide is just to try to help anybody who is trying to learn jungle or consider jungle. So a couple things you'll notice here, like I'm pulling my camps. Uh, on Vi, I don't really play her very much, but to stack the concussive blows, it's good to use E early. Concussive blows, you're gonna get basically ramping attack speed as you auto things. So your first 3 autos will typically be much slower, which is why you want to use the Vi E as an auto reset in order to stack that concussive blows faster, and it'll increase your clear, and it'll increase um, the ability or the rate at which you can stack your concussive blows. Here I let my jungle pet finish the minions off, and you can see that I'm like pulling the camp all the way toward the next side. And all the while I'm monitoring the Wukong. So we saw the Wukong here cross mid, so I'm a little bit faster on this 4th camp. I imagine Wukong is just, starting his wolves, working on his wolves. So here, in my mind, I'm thinking that I am just faster, and we see their bot lane sort of disappear off the map. My team pings that they warded bot Tribush, so I'm under the impression I cannot gank bot here really, which is why I'm not really moving camera bot. I'm just thinking like, okay, here, what I should have done, honestly, is just ran to topside. We see the Akali has Prio in the lane here. My Azir had to TP back, so he's like down Prio. She wards the line brush out of mid. So this is a mistake. Right now I should be moving my camera bot lane. I should be looking at where the wave state is. Here I'm just under the impression that I'm faster than this Wukong, which is why I queue over this wall, but this is probably the worst mistake that I make in the game. So here I didn't watch lanes. You see the Akali moves right away. I actually didn't even notice this in the game because I was so focused on the micro. So Akali gets Ignite off on me before I'm able to get out of range, and then I kind of just inted my team. But it is what it is. Mistakes happen, and then I'm pretty happy with how the game went despite this early
I've
mistake.
been doing this all
So I'm
my
just gonna
life.
talk through that quickly here. So Vi is very strong. She's weak level 1, but generally she's good at certain things. So her W has max health damage that it deals. So
A little snacky.
effectively, all you really need is level 4, and you can solo a dragon, which is where my mind starts going. Like immediately after that blunder, I'm thinking, okay, he took bot crab. He's gonna have to recall. He's gonna start pathing toward his Krugs, and I know that I was a little bit faster than him on the previous clear, and then given that I kind of have tempo out of base, I'm thinking about just sneaking the dragon as soon as I can. So you see here dragon spawning in 10 seconds. So right now I'm just, in my mind, I finish this camp, I hit level 5, and just rush that dragon, because that's the advantage of playing Vi, is that you can stack dragons early at very low cost. Because of the max health damage, you deal more damage the more health that your target has. So obviously Dragon falls within that category, and Cloud Dragon actually particularly. It's one of the easier dragons to kill in the game. So with max health damage, like, people will say you can one-shot this. Not exactly a one-shot. Here I call my Azir to stay. This is probably kind of bad too. Like, I know he doesn't have TP, so I don't want the Akali to TP back, get prio, and then move bot and kill me. Which is something that she could potentially do if he's not here. Looks like I would have killed it anyway, so I kind of griefed this guy, and he ends up dying for it. But the thought process was just to like maintain our mid prio if I can. Here I should be moving my camera mid. Akali's clearly diving. But I don't think there's much I could have done because I don't have flash. Here, I pinged my bot lane as well. I told him where he was, that he was on bot side, so my bot also should know about this gank. Once again, this is kind of a mistake. I should have moved my camera faster. These are all things in retrospect, right? Like, ideally, you want to try to soak up as much information as you can while you're clearing camps, and here I'm just spamming autos, so it doesn't make sense not to move camera. I just need to develop that skill a little bit more if I intend to climb further. So here, I did hit level 6 off this camp, so I figure, I could probably just lane gank this, and that's exactly what ends up happening. I'm able to Q in to close the distance, and I'm able to just ult the Jinx. It's a free kill. And one thing, guys, so I started top side and I was pathing toward bot, and the reason for that is because I was looking at matchups. So Yunara Rel versus Jinx and Soraka. And so there's typically like a triangle in support if you think about it that way. So we have an engaged support, and it's versus a sustain support, like an enchanter. So all in beats the sustain lane, right? Because they're not gonna be able to heal if they're dead, right? Effectively, that's how it works. So my all in lane is gonna be stronger than the enchanter, and they also have no escape spot. So I have Rel to engage. It's just a really good lane to gank because they have no escapes. They're not going to be able to get away from the engage. So that's typically the lane that I decided, would have the most volatility and is going to have the highest conversion rate if I were to run to that lane. So if I go down there, it won't be a waste of my time, right? Like, it's almost guaranteed that we are going to get a kill. Hopefully Rel can set it up and I can follow, or if not, I can just hard lock the Jinx down with R. Here, I really wanted to play for this. Both mid laners died. We saw Rel come top because she has the same idea as me, 3 camps and just play for objectives. That's one thing that Vi is really good at, is playing for objectives. It's something that you want to prioritize if you do decide to pick up the Vi, is try to play for objectives, but first make sure that you have priority in your lanes, guys. Like, don't move to river unless your lanes are pushed up. And don't be like me. Be sure to move your camera to the lanes to see what's going on before you decide to play for an objective. So here, both mid lanes died. We pushed mid. So typically, if you want to play for grubs, you can play for grubs through mid. And we see my mid laners back first. We know that the Akali has no TP. So if a fight were to break out right now, we know that my team will be first, okay? So this is why this is a good play on my part, and this is why this is a bad play on their jungler's part. So even though he gets in here and he yoinks one from me, it's not that serious, because ultimately, if this guy chooses to brawl me, he's gonna lose. We see that Soraka moved here, but effectively, my top has moved, my support is here, the Akali shows up late, and you can see the Azir is already here, right? Like, this is completely winning for my team because we had lane priority. So that is the reason that I play for this objective. That's the reason that we're able to get away with this. What their Wukong did is absolutely criminal, and he's sitting here blaming his teammates, but he didn't check if there was prio. He just decided to try to contest the objective without actually making sure that the conditions were appropriate to do so. So that's a mistake that a lot of junglers will make in low elo, is that they just fail to appreciate when they can actually play for and or contest objectives. Typically, like, if you don't have push, it's just not worth it. Like, unless you're like trying to smite steal an Elder Dragon or a Baron or get some kind of game-changing, you know, play, which you should only really do if your team is like down bad, right? Ultimately, if you want to succeed in this game, what you should try to do is focus on where the lowest risk is and the most reward that you can get for the least amount of risk. So here, this is kind of bad because I really should just allow my Yunara to eat the wave here. But I do have ult, and it's kind of okay to just spam ganks if you have Vi ult. Vi ult is just a very strong form of CC, but you see that we kind of bit off more than we could chew here. Which is why, you know, I got my Yunara killed. It's a really bad gank timer. I just thought, you know, there was an angle to kind of force here, but this is over-forced. So generally, I would say, like, going for a play like this, not ideal, right? Like, despite having mid-push, you know, despite their lanes being low, it's just all around not very good. So here you'll see, like, that play went awry, right? We did not like the outcome of that play. So I know that this Akali, this Wukong, they're healthy. They see me. They know that I'm just going to greed, right? They know that I just want my red buff. They know that I want my bot side. They know that I don't want to just go away, you know, without getting anything here, apart from the Jinx, right? So that's why I play for this camp. And you can see, like, I'm in bush. I'm fully prepared to just run away if I need to. I realize that I'm going to have to give something up. So here, we see the Akali. We see the Wukong. And, you know, I'm not allowed to be here. Now, I heal up and I get a little bit of confidence, right? Because I'm thinking, okay, you know, I have some health bars. And I'm just an aggressive player. I really like to just, you know, try to limit test. I try to just do as much as I can for my team. And I see that I have a Azir here. We have 4 versus 2. There is a world where we win this fight. Even though I'm low, I may go down, but it may be worth it. This is too greedy, though. So they start chasing Akali. This is no longer a 4v2. This is a 1v1, and I'm in a losing situation. I was really hoping that we wouldn't overchase this Akali. Like, as soon as she eased over the Raptor pit, I think she's just gone. I think we should just try to kill this Wukong because clearly he wants to play for my red buff. I thought that was just very obvious, but unfortunately, like, there's no voice comms in this game. You can't really control what your teammates do. Here, you know, I'm hovering. I know he's going to come back. I know he's going to W here, and I was just waiting for it. Unfortunately, my Q gets canceled by his ult, and they get away. And it is what it is, you know. I probably greeted. It was okay. Here, you see, I'm typing to my team. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, we knew exactly where he was. We could have just easily collapsed on him, but they overchased the Kali. It is what it is. As soon as they overchase the Kali, I do not need to, you know, try to defend my red. I just need to give it up. I need to run away. That is one way that you can improve at the game and that you can actually see results is through, like, don't force things. If you have to let something go, as much as it sucks, it's better to just let it go. Okay, so here we pushed up top. We have mid push. We have bot push. So immediately I type to my team, we have prio, come. Because once again, when you have lane priority, your teammates can move first. Now I do have a pink ward and I see that I'm on vision. So I'm just spam pinging my teammates because I'm saying, guys, they might try to contest this, but if they do, it is so illegal that we have to win this fight. Like, my Scion is just getting back on the map. My mid lane has push. My bot lane has push. Here, this is a really rookie mistake by this Rel, Jessica. I'm sorry, but never auto this ward. So guys, if you have a pink ward down, it blocks the enemy's vision. They cannot see what is going on. By autoing the ward, it reveals vision in the area. And so my Rel is exposing the fact that this dragon is low, which increases the chances that the enemy team is going to try to contest this objective because they want to get a steal. They don't want to allow us to stack Drakes. I think, yeah, he comes in and luckily I'm just the better jungler. I do have hands. So despite being an old man, I'm able to hit that smite. And like I said, we had priority here, so this just should be a winning fight. It didn't go great. This Yunara actually played it quite well. You see the way she's kiting, like this is quite good. She just took one step too close and got hit by an E. But all in all, I was really happy with the way the Yunara played it. And then you can see here, like this is actually kind of okay. Not the worst. Could have been worse. We got the objective, so it ends up kind of being okay. I think if my rel isn't autoing the ward, this is way better. Um, which is why, like, you can't always look at the results, right? You can't always say, like, this is what happened, so it was a good or a bad play. Like, sometimes things will go wrong that you're not expecting or whatever. I think that playing for the Dragon in this situation was actually an okay call. Like, I think it was the right call, to be frank. I just think that the execution was a bit poor because, you know, we couldn't foresee that this Diamond player, Rel, doesn't know how vision works 15 years into this game. Um, you know, some people know things, other people don't, and then it's gonna take too much to type an essay to teach everybody this game, which is why, like, you know, I put out video. This is my first video, but I decided to put out video like this, you know, to try to hopefully explain certain things. And it's hard to do it all in one video, but I'm trying to just explain the reason why I made the decision and, you know, why it ended up sort of going poorly. Because I truly think if my pink ward was the only ward down and they don't have that ward, or my rel doesn't start autoing that ward needlessly, they're not going to come and contest. They're not going to do it because it's just dark, right? They have no idea what they're walking into. The rel autoing that ward turns vision on for them. That's kind of a downside, I guess, to this video format, is because I'm watching my own VOD rather than watching the actual recording. In the recording of the game, I can show you like a vision toggle, and I can show you the way that it works to show you that when she's autoing that ward, it illuminates the area. They can see everything around the ward, which is why they felt confident enough to walk up. Here, I kind of bite off a little bit more than I could chew. I just don't know how this guy's so much stronger than me. I know it's not a great matchup because he just Qs me, and his Q, you can read it on Wiki. It's pretty bad for Vi, but here I pick up steel caps because it's gonna give me a lot of value this game, right? They're AD threats, Yone, Wukong, Jinx, all of these guys rely heavily on autos, so the value on steel caps is just incredible this game. It does turn Akali into a bit of a monster. Like, it does help it somewhat against Akali, just not that much, right? She's not overly reliant on autos. She mostly gets her damage from abilities. So all in all, it doesn't mean very much. This, I like the Rel going for this. I'm an aggressive kind of player. I don't mind this. Azir's very, you know, smart to TP here, smart to arrive to this fight. And here, it's just jungle gap. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is what we call a jungle gap right here. I'm always looking for angles to turn. The Vi passive with the shield is just really broken. Like, even though I'm low, I'm able to get that shield, protect myself. I'm quite tanky in the situation, you know. I'm not very strong against the Akali, but you see when she walks up too far, I immediately pull the trigger because if she's stunned, she's not going to kill me. And here, that's a real limit test, but you can see I'm just using my E on cooldown. I know that we can play for it, and that's why I'm pinging my Azir, like, please don't just run away. Because if the Azir decides not to commit with me, I look like a fool. But in these elos, when you're like diamond and higher, I find you can kind of start to trust your teammates. But in lower elo, you can not trust your teammates. Like, I've been in that position in lower elo games where my teammate just doesn't believe that we can do the thing that I want to do, and they run away, and then I die under turret to that Jinx rocket in another dimension, you know? So, you know, that was a really unnecessary risk that I took, I suppose. I just knew that I could get away with it if this guy's listening to me. And fortunately, I'm playing pretty well this game. I think my teammates recognize that, so they're more willing to listen to my calls. You see here, like I'm pinging my teammates off top side because I want to keep stacking Drakes. We've already got 2 Drakes. I just want to keep pushing this lead and keep progressing the game state through stacking Drakes and creating fights over objectives. So you see here Wukong shows top side. I'm not sure why. I guess because Azir pushed the bot wave out, that he thought that they don't have prio for this. Apart from that, I'm not really sure why he's on top side. He was pathing bot earlier, and this just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So in games like this, you want to recognize where their jungler is, and he's on top side, so that means we can play for this safely. They are no longer interested in contesting objectives. They know that I buy pink wards. They don't want to walk into the dark. They don't have setup first, so it's just a free objective for my team. You see here my team's pinging for assistance, and I type risky because I really don't want to play for this. I think this is horrible. My team goes in. I shouldn't take this, or if I do, I should run away because I don't like this play at all. There's no reason why we should take this big of a risk at this state of the game. And you see, like, instantly the Akali just focuses me. I'm out of that fight. It is what it is. As much as that was a mistake, and especially picking up the second round of the Herald, I said from the beginning, risky, and then I tell them, like, we did not need to do this. Like, we are in the driver's seat in this game. It's our game to lose. We can't afford too many mistakes like this. This season, it's very volatile with shutdown gold that, if you give up too many shutdowns, a team that's behind can easily come back. The Jinx is 0-7 right now. We don't need to just give her free kills. That champion can absolutely turn into a monster and absolutely come online, especially with a Soraka behind her, quite easily. So it only takes a couple mistakes before things start going sideways. Try to keep it clean. Try to, help your teammates make correct decisions. Maybe if I just had backed off completely, they wouldn't have gone for it, but my Scion ulted in, and it was kind of one of those situations where, if I don't follow up, I'm going to get flamed for it. May as well try, but, I didn't like the play. I probably shouldn't have picked up Herald, though, and it may have gone a little bit better than that if I did not, take part in the griefing, but it is what it is sometimes. We're not perfect, that's why we're diamond. There's not much to play for, so here, like, we're still on our half. Nobody's really pressuring the map, which is why, I'm not really doing too much to progress the game. I think what I should do, really, is just try to escort my support to advance the vision line. Here, we can play in river. I try to play for crab first because I know that the blue is mine no matter what. So always try to play for, when you have priority, play for the enemy's camps first and then play for yours. So here, Otacod was spawning, actually. I was pinging it in the game. I was aware of this in the game. I just kind of forgot where we were because I'm yapping. But here, step one is to establish vision control over this area. You don't just want to start the objective. You want to sweep. You want to try to understand where the enemy vision is. You want to set up your own vision line so that you can turn the fight. Here we have a great ult by Scion, a great engage by Rel. We're able to follow up on all of this, and now the objective is just free. So here, I think one should go mid to deny the Jinx. I think one should just go top, and my team should just be letting me solo this. We don't, for whatever reason. We go top wave, nobody pushes out bot. I don't know why. I think this was a free tier 2. They're all dead, and they're all dead for an extended period, so I think I can just solo this. But, again, like, none of these players are perfect. Nobody's making perfect decisions, but you try to do your part and try to execute things cleanly. I see here that I still have time to play for his jungle, so I try to deny him camps. Rather than retreating to my bot side, I wanted my Azir to push the wave, so playing for the blue here does two things. It shadows the Azir, who could get jumped on. You see here, I could just run to this, but I don't want to. I tell my team clearly, hey guys, why are we taking this fight? So this is a big thing that a lot of lower ELO players will get caught up in. They just have a temptation to push, they don't know when to stop, and then they get caught and they die under enemy tier 2 turret or tier 1 turret or what have you, or an enemy base for that matter. So in this instance, I knew that dragon is spawning. We already have a dragon soul coming up. There is just no point in fighting in mid. That's one thing. The second thing is, the enemy team just respawned. I know that the Jinx is dead, but the Jinx is a bot. The Jinx is like 08 at this point. She's not going to do anything. And why flip a 3v4, right? They have numbers advantage. They are coming out of base. They have full health, full resources. They are just going to send it on you because, especially in a game state like this, the enemy team is behind. So when you are behind, generally you need to look for more coin flippy type plays because you just try to find an inch, and then another inch, and then a yard, and you try to extend your way back into the game. And gradually over time, these small advantages will add up. So there's a concept that you can look up in other videos. It's called tempo. And the way that I've explained it in the past when I've done some private coaching and things is League of Legends is kind of like a turn-based game, right? You use your hand, you press your buttons, okay. You get what you can after you press your buttons. If you get some kills, you try to convert that into other leads, like objectives. And then you have to know when it's time to back off because the enemy team will just be waiting for the time that you over push and you don't have the resources to take the fight. And then that is their opportunity to come back in the game. What you want to do is don't overextend yourself. Push your lead to the max and then recall. Know where that line is and you will progress at this game. And it takes a lot of reps. Like I see a lot of people in low elo, they want to play for turret plating. They want to play for this, they want to play for that. But it's like, can you do this without a risk? And it's not even a substantial risk. Can you do it without a risk? And if the answer is no, then it's probably better to not play for it. Because if you recall, if you get resources, if you spend your gold, you buy your items, you are going to be in an even better position. And then with items, when you come back, you're going to be able to push that advantage on your next turn. But you don't want to play before it's your turn. And so here, I really wanted to play Dragon, which is why I was telling my team, hey guys, let's not int a fight right now. Let's wait for the next dragon, take Dragon Soul, and just progress our lead. But you can see, they did wait. I will give them credit in that regard. They did wait before they sent it. So, we lost some guys, but they lose the war. So we are able to take Drake's Soul. So I'm just going to push the timer a little bit here. You can see, like, I see what's happening in the game. I see that there were 3 mid. I see the Yone. So now the only one that can stop me is Wukong. Frankly, I'm not really afraid of him. I just decide I'm going to play for this turret. This turret's worth like 700 or 750 gold or something. It's just a lot of gold. It's like, 2.5 kills. I play for his camps. I shut them down completely. I push up this wave. And now the Jinx has come to stop me. So this is another thing, guys. You want to push waves like this because what that does is it causes their team to respond to the wave that has been pushed. And so now we saw that the Jinx had to show up to clear the wave to stop me from taking their whole base. So now what that does is that creates a numbers advantage on another side of the map. So we see here that Yone died, Azir died. So now there is, or sorry, there are 4 players alive on our team. There are 4 players alive on their team. But you can see how we can be first to respond to the play in topside because I have now pulled Jinx to their bot side. So through a numbers advantage, through creating a numbers advantage by pushing a lane, we are able to take fights. And so Akali here is just trolling the game. These guys have gone completely mental boom. You can see that their jungler wanted really badly to play for his Gromp, but I took it. And then now he's so mentally boomed, he like doesn't want to concede. He saw that I took his chickens, and he's still coming to play here because it's very tilting to just have to give up everything, right? And when you've made a lot of these mistakes and now, it is exponentially getting worse, you have to start conceding more and more and more, and you just lose your mind. Nobody wants to play a game where they have to concede every objective. I hate it personally, but you can see all of this snowballed from the fact that Wukong tried to contest me on 2 objectives where he did not have priority. Firstly on the Grubs, they lost the fight, and then on the second Drake. And it just compiles itself, right? He was slower than me on the clear, so he's always going to be a few seconds behind. And because I'm able to get there first, set up for it first, we're able to convert. Alright, I kind of entered this. To be honest, here I just wanted to play for Baron. We can clearly see it. The Azir kind of pings me in. I should have pressed tab and just saw whether he has TP or if he's going to commit the TP. Here, I saw this. This guy was really low. And then I saw the Akali walk in and I saw Soraka and I thought, you know what? This 3v3 might not be horrible, but I failed to appreciate that I just get one shot here. And I'm committing to Soraka, but, not a great fight for me. I should have played that better. In terms of the effect on the game, it doesn't really matter that I died here, but I still should have played it cleaner. From here, this video is pretty much a wrap. You can see we get the Baron. It's quite easy now. Sion pushes bot. We can pretty much take any fight. I have my flash. We have the conditions. These guys are still just trying to, they're grasping at straws here. They're trying to do anything that they can, but it is our turn to play. We just close out the game cleanly. You can see I flash on this guy, I dodge his ability, and then the game is just won. So I hope this was useful. I hope you can see how getting lane priority, or playing for objectives with your lane priority and assessing your wave states is tremendously important in order to progress the game. So I hope this is useful to anybody who's trying to climb in the jungle. Move your camera more than I did. That was horrible. Move your camera, look at your waves, get information regarding, who's flashed, who's used what ability, and then make your decisions accordingly. But you can see how I use the information that I gather in the game in order to progress the game and close it out relatively cleanly. If you like this type of content, I guess leave a comment or like the video and let me know if there's another champ or something you want to see, and then maybe I can do another video like this in the future.